This is the issue, and I am the ghetto man. Today's issue, democratic treason, a war against the republic. You know, Democrats are they're clearly creating a climate of civil unrest and violence. Just look around. The Democratic Communist left is doing everything in their power to push this nation into a state of martial law. The Democratic Communists are and have been a domestic enemy. They are also domestic terrorists. They think that if they can push this country into martial law, that they can suspend the U.S. Constitution. And we'll discuss martial law on another show. They plan on disarming you in violation of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. Well, I got news for the Democrats. It's not going to happen. The militia, which is the armed citizenry, and I've done a show on the militia, exactly what it is, has a duty to crush this democratic communist attack. We have a duty to do that. And please take the time to watch my show on the militia. You get to understand how it's supposed to work and what it was all set up for and why it's necessary in order to have a free state to have a well-armed and well-regulated militia. And the word militia means armed citizenry. I'm telling you right now, these Democrats, these communists, are not going to get away with this. And their attempt to overthrow the republic will be crushed in the name of freedom. And everyone involved in this act of treason, this act of war, will be dealt with according to the laws of our land. Everywhere you look, there are Democrat communists like Kathy Griffin, Madonna, Michael Moore, and many, many more promoting the outright premeditated murder of the President of the United States and members of Congress. This is not an insurrection. This is an outright war against the American people, the Republic, and our constitutional law. The communist takeover is all out in the open now. Everyone can see it. Just look around. It's in your face everywhere. There is no denying it any longer. This is a violent coup d'etat. And a coup d'etat is a violent takeover of the country. It's treason. It's war. This is an overthrow of the United States of America and the U.S. Constitution. Mark my word on that. Which, by the way, is still the supreme law of the land. The Constitution has not been overthrown. The law is still there. It's the law of the land, and it's going to be the law that's going to prosecute these traitors. And I'll tell you what, if you don't like that, then it's time for you to leave. You know, I've said it before, we don't have an out-of-gration quota or program in this country. You can leave today if you don't like it here. In fact, I got enough money in my pocket right now. You communist bastards. I got enough money to buy you a one-way ticket out of here. You don't have to stay here and do it our way. The Democratic Communists are calling for a violent war against we the people, freedom, justice, and of course the U.S. Constitution. And as I said before, this is not going to happen. We, and I'm talking about all the people that are in the service, all those veterans, we have taken an oath to uphold and defend the U.S. Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you, the Democratic Party, and everybody in it, you are a domestic enemy. And we are not going to let you treasonous bastards destroy this great nation that has become the greatest nation on earth. It's not going to happen. You communist assholes are going to be dealt with the old-fashioned way, the American way. You are terrorists, domestic enemies, and are traitors to the United States. There is not enough room in this country for freedom-loving patriots, and you vile, disgusting piles of communist human excrement. There's no room for you here. Not in a land of the free. And you keep this up, and you're going to find out why they call it the home of the brave. The latest in this leftist war against freedom is a piece of communist garbage named James Devine. Now, I've got an article here. This James Devine is a New Jersey Democrat. Let me put my glasses on here. I can't see without them. He's a New Jersey Democrat, and he's calling for the murder of conservatives and rich people by using the hashtags Hunt Republicans and Hunt Republican Congressmen on social media. This James Devine, this traitor, this anti-American asshole, is a Democrat consultant. Of course he's a Democrat. What else would he be? And he began urging his followers to commence hunting Republicans, tweeting, "We are in a war with selfish, foolish, and narcissistic rich people. Why is it a shock when things turn violent? Hashtag Hunt Republican Congressman." He said, "I have little sympathy for he says, I have little sympathy for the Republican congressmen who got shot today because he viciously opposed President Obama's effort to reduce gun violence." In other words, he resisted the dismantlement of the Second Amendment. He's a traitor. He hates the United States of America, hates the Constitution, hates freedom, and as you can see, he's all for starting a war killing American citizens. So whether you're a congressman or you're just Joe Sixpack here out here in the public, he's determined, and he's called for an action of war with the rest of these Democratic communist friggin' traitors to murder other American citizens, murder them. Are you getting this through your head? We're talking about a man who is calling for the murder of people who don't go along with his anti-American, anti-constitutional agenda of killing the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights. Let's see. What did he say here? He says, "I have little sympathy for the Republican Congress that got shot today because he viciously opposed Obama's effort to reduce gun violence. Viciously opposed Obama's effort to commit treason and to destroy the United States Constitution. And instead, he accepted more gun lobbying money than all but 15 other members of the House of Representatives." This is a wacko. This is what I'm telling you about the Democratic Party. They are nothing but wackos. I mean, they support democracy. So we already know that the political platform of the Democratic Party is to destroy the Republic and overthrow the Republic. They do not want a Republican form of government as mandated in Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution. Instead, they want to bring in this foreign ideology, and I'm talking about radical Marxism here. I'm talking about the total destruction of everything that our nation founders believed and worked together to create a country where the individual, the citizen, is the sovereign. And all political power, all law, comes from the sovereign and moves I'm going to say, down the ladder. Because the highest point on the ladder is you and me, the citizen, the sovereign citizen. Anybody that works for government, once they take that job, they have to take their hat of sovereignty off while they're at work, and they have to kiss our ass. Their main concern is to uphold and defend the Constitution. That's number one priority here. Number one. Not protecting me, not protecting this country. First thing, protect the Constitution. I have all my constitutional rights. You have all your constitutional rights. Believe me. And if we're practicing the Second Amendment with a well-regulated militia, these son of a bitches like this James Devine, these traitors, this vile stench, all he is just a piece of human shit. He goes on to say, I'm sorry if my hashtag Hunt Republican Congressman hashtag hurt the feelings of the GOP snowflakes, but you have not engaged in civil discourse, he wrote. What's he mean by civil discourse? Does he mean that, murdering the American people in cold blood? See, this is not only just a crime. This is a open and notorious act of treason. And I'm not kidding here. I'm really getting sick and tired of this crap. Everywhere I look, there's just another democratic, communist, socialist piece of horseshit coming out of the woodwork. I mean, to watch these people out in the streets, to watch them looks like it's centering in Barnum and Bailey's circus. Is this the kind of people you want running any country? People who can't even figure out if they're male or female. This Devine also said, it is insensitive, and I don't care. That's the same thing that what we were dealing with these celebrities. They go ahead and everything they say is insensitive to everything is right and just and freedom. And they don't care. He says, you want me to be politically correct? I don't have time for that anymore. So, of course, we know if you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And he doesn't even have time for that. What he has time for is to hunt American citizens down and murder them in cold blood. He goes on to say, I'm not going to shy away from harsh rhetoric. We have a president elected largely by the people who were tired of politicians who shied away from harsh rhetoric. I don't think it's appropriate. I'd much rather have a rational and reasonable debate, but we can't have that. So I guess what we're going to have instead of that is what we're going to have is murder. We're not going to talk to you anymore. You won't go along with our communist agenda, so we're going to murder you. Now, I don't know how much clearer I can get this point across. These people mean business. They're terrorists. They want to destroy your freedoms. They want to murder you and your family if you don't go along with this violent, anti-American, communist coup d'etat. Wake up. It's right in front of your face. Devine's social media is filled with advertisements for support for Bernie Sanders. Of course, Bernie Sanders is a goddamn communist. He's a socialist bastard. I mean, here you got this demented dinosaur who's trying to bring back to life a failed ideology, socialism. He's trying to resurrect it from the dead, a system of government that has never, not one time that it's been tried, not one single time has it ever worked. And it always ends up in its brother, communism, which is socialism by force. And then you see what happened. You happen to see what Mao did. You see what Lenin did. You see what Stalin did. You see what Hitler did. You see what Castro did. Look, I'll take a look in Venezuela. They haven't lined people up yet and start killing them, but you just wait. And today we have somebody like Sanders, an open and notorious socialist who took an oath of office to uphold and defend oath of office to uphold and defend the Constitution against the very people that he is and the very people that support him. He's a traitor. I mean, God's sakes, if a man comes up and says, I'm a socialist, how in the hell could he possibly take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution? You'd have to be a complete idiot to think that was what the man was going to do. That's why this country is falling. You're sitting there and you're openly letting somebody, we take our Republican form of government, which has a specific, it's designed specifically how you elect people, and he got checks and balances in it to make sure that it's a fair election. I mean, just like the Electoral College. If it wasn't for the Electoral College, Montana here, where I am, we wouldn't have a vote at all. The vote would come from New York, Chicago, and L.A. All the people in there would if it was open democracy, which is the vilest form of government there is. That's exactly what would happen. You would never have a vote. It would just be these leftist communist bastards that are in these big major cities. They have all the votes all the time. So our founding fathers said, we can put a check and balance in there. We want to make sure that this voting thing is spread around. We don't want a vile stench of democracy in this country. That's why you'll find Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution clearly says the United States of America shall guarantee to each state a Republican form of government, not a goddamn democracy. I'm sick of this crap. I get so sick and tired of hearing these traitorous bastards use that D word. I've had it. The Communist Leftist Democratic Party has so many radical leftist groups, I don't even know where to start. There's La Raza, there's Black Lives Matter, there's Acorn, Move On, the KKK, and various other National Socialist white supremacist groups that are they have become the new brown shirts. And for you people out there that don't know what a brown shirt is, and a lot of the young people don't know, because the one thing that they don't do in our government fool system, the 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto, is teach you anything about American history or anything about World War I, World War II, any of the wars, because they want to make sure that all you learn is this communist propaganda. Every school. And the worst of the colleges is the college professors. I mean, the college professors, these people, they should be held responsible for the garbage that they're putting in our children's mind and turning our children against the greatest thing, the greatest country, the most powerful and prosperous country came out of the United States since King Solomon. And these professors, these vile, stench, disgusting, anti-American, traitorous sons of bitches are destroying our children's minds. Just look around. Look at how they're acting. They're all socialist injustice warriors. A complete attack on the United States Constitution and our freedoms. They're the terrorists that you have to worry about. They're the terrorists that hate our freedoms. Okay, so what is a brown shirt? The brown shirts were Hitler's domestic terrorist group. They disrupted meetings and rallies of any of Hitler's opponents, and they did it violently. Does that sound familiar? Well, it should. That's what the Democrats are. That's what they are. They're the brown shirts. Whenever you see one of these clowns that's dressed up half woman, half man, half animal, whatever the hell they are, running around with their sickles and their hammers, that's what we're talking about. These are brown shirts. They're sent out there by the Democratic Party to make sure that nobody expresses their right to free speech. And if you do, they will violently oppose you. And as you can see from the recent events, they will murder you. This is what the deep state is. You hear that term now. This is what it is. A global organization hell-bent on global communism, the New World Order, where the international banking cartels own everything while controlling every aspect of your life from cradle to grave. Historically, the Democrats, progressives, socialists, communists, they're all synonymous terms now, have committed more gun crimes than any law-abiding, constitutional-loving, and to the republic for which it stands, freedom-loving citizen has ever done. I'm going to go ahead and read to you here a little trivia. In 1865, a Democrat shot and killed Abraham Lincoln. He was the president of the United States then, for those of us who don't know. In 1881, a left-wing radical Democrat shot James Garfield, president of the United States, who later died from the wound. In 1963, a radical left-wing socialist shot and killed John F. Kennedy, president of the United States. In 1975, a left-wing radical Democrat fired shots at Gerald Ford, another president of the United States. 1983, a registered Democrat shot and wounded Ronald Reagan, president of the United States. In 1984, James Hubert, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 22 people in a McDonald's restaurant. 1986, Patrick Sherrill, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 15 people in an Oklahoma post office. In 1990, James Pough, P-O-U-G-H, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 10 people at the GMAC office. In 1991, George Hennard, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 23 people in Lubrie's Cafe in Killeen, Texas. 1995, James Daniel Simpson, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 5 co-workers in a Texas laboratory. In 1999, Larry Asbrook, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 8 people at a church service. In 2001, a left-wing radical Democrat fired shots at the White House in a failed attempt to kill George W. Bush. In 2003, Douglas Williams, a disgruntled Democrat, shot and killed 7 people at a Lockheed Martin plant. 2007, a registered Democrat named Swing Hai Cho shot and killed 32 people in Virginia Tech. 2010, a mentally ill registered Democrat named Jared Lee Longner shot Representative Gabrielle Gifford and killed 6 others. In 2011, a registered Democrat named James Holmes went into a movie theater and shot and killed 12 people. In 2012, Andrew, boy, this is a good one, Engeldinger, and I'm not kidding, Engeldinger, another disgruntled Democrat shot and killed 7 people in Minneapolis. 2013. A registered Democrat named Adams Lanza shot and killed 26 people in a school in Newtown, Connecticut. And as recently as, September 2013, an angry Democrat shot at a Navy shipyard. And, of course, we know this latest one with this Hodgkinson, who even had a list of other people he was going to kill in his pocket. Another goddamn Democrat. I mean, how in the world can anybody out here with a straight face say they support the Democratic Party? Unless you're a traitor and you want to overthrow this country and you want to do like all the rest of the Democrats do, shoot and kill people. Clearly, there is a problem with Democrats, not guns. Even though they want to make sure that they take away your right to defend yourself, and the only reason why they're doing that, anybody that has an IQ above 40 knows why they're doing it. They want to disarm you so that they can have their way with you. You think that they're going to get rid of their guns? You think that these leftist, communist, traitors are going to turn their guns in? No, they're going to use them on anybody that supports the Constitution, anybody that wants to remain free. Now, not that I don't take any political things, but what's interesting here is that not one NRA member, and I'm not a member of the NRA, so I'm just quoting a fact. Not one NRA member, not one member of the Tea Party or any Republican conservative was involved in any of these shootings and murders. They're not killings. They're murders. I mean, if we were going to do anything about gun control, it should be illegal for any Democrat to own a gun. I think you should just ship them all out of this country because they don't belong here. They hate everything that our founders set up here. They hate it all. We don't need gun control. We need Democrat control. Guns don't kill people. Democrats do. Now, that's just a little history on democratic terrorism. And this is what I try to do with this show is I'm trying to just, wake people up. I mean, for God's sakes, can't you see what's going on? Do you have eyes to see and ears to hear? Well, if you do, open your eyes and unplug your ears. There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. All you have to take a look at it. This is not good. This is a war. This is a coup d'etat. The left is trying to overthrow this country right now. The Democratic Party has become the most violent, disgusting, sick, perverted, demented, anti-American, anti-human, anti-freedom organization on the face of the earth. It is the most vile organization to ever emerge out of the minds of the reprobate. If you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And if you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem. I am the Ghetto Man. Thank you for watching.
She's on the dark side. She's on the dark side. She's on the dark side of the moon. She will seduce you with all her pleasures. Man or woman, she tempts them all. She is so lovely, her looks will turn your head. give you all that your heart can desire. She'll place the whole world at your feet. She's on the dark side. She's on the dark side.